You heard him there. Let's cross live to Maageketla Mohlabe, who is in the city centre tonight. So Maageketla, just hours since the Joburg mayor visited, what sort of reception did he receive in Joburg today?
Good evening to you, Francis. Of course, we saw the mayor just a couple of minutes ago coming through together with his officials from the municipality. Of course, saying that he was coming to just assess the situation following that incident yesterday. And what he's saying is that, well, he puts all this blame on Home Affairs. And of course, he says that Home Affairs doesn't seem to be doing their job in terms of stamping down on illegal activities in the city of Johannesburg. On the other side, he says, even at the borders, it doesn't seem like those who are supposed to be doing their job, they are doing what they've been hired to do. And of course, he says that this really has been a long-standing war. And of course, he mentioned that about a couple of months ago, over 18 million rands were recovered. That's of counterfeit goods were recovered right here at JB Streets. And these are some of the buildings, really, that we have seen these operations or these raids continued by police officials alongside JMPD officials. But of course, he was really not happy. And this is because one of the shopkeepers approached him alongside Michael's son, that's the MMC for community safety. And of course, he tried to actually explain to them how they are frustrated as shopkeepers here. But let's just have a listen to what actually transpired then.
All right, we were actually hoping to play that. I think Maageketla, we don't have that clip available right now. I'm sorry about that. Just give us in summary. I mean, I think the problem here is that there are claims by foreign nationals, say they're being targeted, only their goods are being confiscated, sometimes sold on to other retailers, and then the police have different claims. Is that the big problem here?
Well, basically, we spoke to some of these foreign nationals here, and many of them are the ones that are actually selling goods here. And what they are saying is that in as much as there are those who are actually doing illegal activities or selling counterfeit goods here, it's not everyone who is involved in that. And what they are saying is that it looks like police targeted everyone here, and this is what actually provoked what we saw yesterday. And they are also saying that they were harassed, they were pushed, and in fact they showed us some of the videos in which we saw some of the officials appearing to be pushing, including women in those visuals. And they are saying that it doesn't seem like police are taking into considerations that some of the shopkeepers here are in this country or even in this city legally. So it cannot be everyone that's involved in selling counterfeit goods. But just to get more into that, Francis, I'm joined by Dr. Vusi Sibanda. He's chairperson at the African diaspora. Just tell me more, Vusi, because you have been following this story from day one. And I remember when I spoke to you earlier on, you said that these incidents have been taking place for over a decade.
Yes, look, I think what we have seen, for example, is when you look at what happened yesterday, I think right in the morning, the first thing that is very worrying is that, on Troy Street, before anything, there was any encounter, the police that came on the scene started shooting rubber bullets and throwing stun grenades before they could actually even get to the shops. And the reaction that we see in that footage is basically people starting to run away, from the scene. And we have seen this already because it has created a lot of mistrust, between the people and the police. When the mayor arrived here with MMC San, people started to run away, because there were sirens, and people are so edgy, not because they are criminals, but because of the treatment that they've been receiving, from the police. So what we see happening is a situation where, when the people ran away yesterday in the morning, and then the group of people that came in with the police went to the shops, then the people regrouped themselves, and that's when there was a fight back. It is unfortunate that we had to see that kind of a fight back, but what we have seen is that fight back involved all people that work within this area, that are not necessarily just migrants alone, but even locals that buy from this area. We heard it from Jeffrey from Jamestown, who says, look, I've been working here since 2001, and a lot of people that were involved in the fights that were taking place here yesterday are people that are disgruntled by the fact that some of them have got businesses that are running in the townships to support their families. And if this is happening, and it's happening outside the confines of the law, and why am I saying it's outside the confines of the law is because the procedure that is supposed to be followed is not followed, number one. And number two, people are harassed, beaten, and property is stolen, money from their shops. So those are some of the issues that have made people to feel so very, very sad, and they feel that they are not protected. Of course, the mayor says he's blaming this a lot on Home Affairs and the illegal immigrants, but the people that are shop owners here are legally in the country, and they have documentation. And all what we have seen, we are happy the mayor came here, but what we see is we only hear the mayor saying we're going to intensify the operations, we don't want illegality. But the first act of illegality that is taking place, it is coming from the people that started shooting the people, who are the police officials. And we have heard also the mayor pointing fingers at SAPS and saying that it is not their jurisdiction, not their operation, not do this as JMPD. And yet when we were here yesterday, SAPS was very clear to say this operation was a JMPD operation. So what we want to see here, we want to see JMPD working together with SAPS to clarify these issues and follow procedure.
Thanks so much indeed. And of course, I have to mention, Francis, that we had condemnation from the provincial government, David Makura himself, as well as the office of Herman Mashaba, as we mentioned, he was here. And of course, we also heard from government officials, of course, on behalf of government, Minister of Defense Nosiviwe Mabisa Ngakula, of course, mentioning that the blatant attack on police in the line of duty and the vandalism and the destruction of property, especially during a crackdown on counterfeit goods, will not be allowed to continue. So we have had those kind of messages throughout the day after that particular incident yesterday. But police here saying that they will definitely be coming back. They are not afraid, they are not scared of anyone, and they will continue with these raids on counterfeit goods.
And we don't want to see those scenes again. Thank you very much, Maageketla Mohlabe.